These things the the goddess, the ugly goddess on all sides, pours into the mouths of men. Immediately she turns her courses to the king Yarbas, and she inflames the soul with words and congregates or piles up or makes larger the angers. This one, having been born from Hamone, with the Gardemaidan nymph having been raped, placed temples, how many temples? 100 temples to Jove in kingdoms, in wide kingdoms, and the temples were also huge, so huge kingdoms. And 100 altars he also placed, and he sacrificed the watchful fire, the eternal, the eternal watchfires of the gods, and the ground so this would be consecrated, actually not sacrificed, but the ground he consecrated with the gore of hoofed animals. The rich, that should be accusative, neuter with solum. So the rich ground he consecrated with the gore of hoofed animals, and with various wreaths he consecrated uh, the flowering thresholds. So the flowery thresholds, because he's put so many wreaths onto those thresholds. And he, raging with respect to his mind's general reference, and incensed by bitter rumor, is said before altars between the middle divinities. It's like the middle divine powers, and in the middle of divine powers could be loose translation of the gods. What is he said to have done? He is said to have beseeched as a supplicant with upturned hands many things of Jove. Like, he's said to have beseeched or to have asked many things, and who did he ask? Jove. That's why it's kind of a double accusative. What he's asking is in the accusative, and whom he's asking is also in the accusative. Omnipotent Jupiter, to whom now do the Marusian people, having dined on painted couches, pour out Linnaean honor? Do you see these things? Or um, you, begetter, when you hurl lightnings, do we shudder in vain? In the clouds do blind fires terrify souls, and do empty murmurs mix or confuse? The woman who, wandering on our borders, who established a scanty city for a price, sablet of a price, to whom we gave shores to be tilled, and to whom we gave the laws of the place, our marriages repelled, and Aeneas as Lord, and Lord Aeneas into kingdoms received. So he's complaining that this has happened. And now that Paris, with the half-man band, and with Maeonian mitre tied up, and tied up with respect to beard, these are Greek accusative of respect, and hair, and dripping hair, like hair dripping with perfume. This is the ablative verb. Snatched or seized the prey or the plunder, referring to Dido as like military plunder or something. Do we certainly carry gifts to your temples, and we cherish um, an empty fame. So certainly we carry gifts to your temples and cherish an empty fame. So he's saying we worship you for nothing. As soon as Mercury touched, so that Mercury is the subject, as soon as he touched with winged heels the roofs, or not the roofs, but the huts or the buildings, Aeneas founding towers, and renewing roofs he sees, and to that one, as unto Aeneas, a starred or a gemmed sword there was. And what was it gemmed with? With yellow jasper. He was burning, or no, it's not him. It's the cloak, having been sent down from shoulders, was burning with Tyrian purple. Dido, which gifts rich Dido had made and had separated the threads with tenuous gold. So she wove gold into the threads of the cloak. Immediately he attacks. Now you are, are establishing the foundations of high Carthage, and wife beaten, you are establishing a beautiful city, or build up the beautiful city. Heu, or alas, you unmindful one, are you forgetful? And verbs of forgetting take the genitive, so this is a vocative participle addressing Aeneas. You unmindful of the kingdom and of your matters. He himself, who, the king or the ruler of the gods himself, sends me from clear Olympus or from famous Olympus to you, distinguished Olympus, and he who hurls with divine power, or not hurls, turns, he who turns with divine power the sky and the lands, he himself orders these things to carry through, or these mandates to these orders or these commands, mandates to he himself orders to carry these mandates through swift airs. Why do you strive, or why are you striving, or with what hope uh, do you delay or waste leisure times in Libyan lands? If no glory of such matters or of such things moves you, nor above and beyond do you yourself kind of found or accomplish the task or the labor on account of your own praise or because of your own praise, then what? Look, look at Ascanius rising. So if you don't care about yourself, look at rising Ascanius, your son, and the look at the hope of the heir Iulus. Sorry, this will be an accusative as well. And then, to whom the kingdom of Italy and Roman lands are owed. Such things having spoken, the Cyllenian one, which refers to Mercury, such things having spoken from mouth, he flees mortal sights in the middle of speech or in mid-speech, and from far off uh, into the tenuous air or tenuous breeze he vanishes from eyes. But and truly, Aeneas stood agape, frenzied by the sight, and with hairs standing up because of horror, and voice clung in throats. He burns to leave in flight, and to and or he burns to go away in flight and to relinquish or to leave behind sweet lands. Struck by such an admonishment, by the order of the gods, Heu, or alas, what should he do? With what approach now? So, with what now would he dare? Yeah, with what speech now would he dare to conciliate or to to reconcile the raging queen? What first beginnings should he take up? And now to here, now to there, he divides swift mind, and he snatches up various parts. He snatches up his mind into various parts, and he turns through all things. This thought seems better or more potent to the one alternating. That's Aeneas alternating between different thoughts. He calls Mnestis Sergestus and strong Serestus.